I just had a breakfast burrito. I'll tell you a story. I got another burrito up in there too. So it goes up to like McDonald's in the morning though, you know? It goes up to McDonald's in the morning and I got me a strawberry milkshake, hash browns, and 2 burritos, right? So I ate my hash browns, I sat in the building. So I was sitting in the building, eating my hash brown and drinking my strawberry milkshake. And I saw this truck roll up, you know, in the parking lot. And the dude was looking dead at me as I was passing by, right, rolling by me, you know. You know, when you're having a fun time at McDonald's and you're being a little kid again, you start to have them thoughts, you know. So you're like thinking like, well, that dude that rolled by looking at me, and my headphones and everything, and my chewing gum and such, the dude looked like RuPaul, right? You know, like a businessman RuPaul, right? Without being in drag and such. Not only did he look like RuPaul, he's driving a red truck that belonged to Suge Knight. Looked like it belonged to Suge Knight. I'm just saying though, right? You never know though. You never know. So you're cracking yourself up trying to associate what you just seen. So you're drinking your strawberry milkshake, you know, cracking up laughing and such, and it's McDonald's, right? So you're like, you're just making a joke to yourself, right? I just saw RuPaul in a suit, in a business suit, in a red truck that's brand new. It looked like the truck was red too, right? Red truck that looked like it belonged to Suge Knight. The driving it was RuPaul, and he drove by Carl Black Auto Shop. I'm like, yeah, right. Then you sit back and you finish your strawberry milkshake and such. So then you see a car pull up, an employee of McDonald's walk up, right? And you try to associate her face to a face that you might recognize. So I'm looking at her through the window, you know, the transparent window of McDonald's. And she rolled up, I think she hopped out the passenger seat, right? And she was all uniformed up, walked into like McDonald's. It's a Sunday, so, and but you have a glance at her eyes and everything. You're looking at her like, well, she looked like, but after she was out of your vision, trying to put her face to someone else's face. She looked like Papoose. She looked like she was relative to Papoose, the rapper Papoose, you know. I'm like, yeah, that's funny, you know. So, and then she walked by my table and out the other door, right? Like, what'd she walk by me for? You know? Because she probably read my mind or something. No, you never know though, right? So I'm like, and I'm opening up my burrito. I'm finna eat, but I wrapped it back up, put it in the bag, and she left. Yeah, I like going to McDonald's. So I'm leaving McDonald's. And I'm walking down by the hotels, the Scottish Inn and Drake Inn and such. And a lot of people walking around. One dude walked up to me, hey man, you got a light? I said, no man, I don't smoke. Walking away from him though, you know. But at least he had a mask on. So I'm stuck, you know, people, you know, we're in the COVID virus days and such. So this kid walks up with his mom, you know, and the kid was talking to me like, you know, hey man, you alright man, you know? And I'm like, yeah, I'm waiting for y'all to walk by so I can get on with my life though, you know? Yeah, so they just stood there, you know? So I like, you know, and I just like eased on by the fence, you know? And so I'm walking, hitting the freaking, you know, I'm trying to break any laws and such, you know? across the street, and then I'm at the corner though. The kid had like a scooter bike, same kid with the jacket, the coat, and everything. His mom looked pretty good. And I'm waiting for the light to cross the street to go where I live at in the building at. And he's like, "Hey, you all right, man?" I'm like, "Yeah, man. Thanks for asking, but I like your coat. It's, you know, it's flashy, you know." With the kids though, they look more serious, right? They look more intelligent than the average dude that wake up. So he left and everything. I crossed the street, banked up my burritos and what's left of my strawberry shake in the fridge, and I grabbed a thing of water and I went to the corner store, right? So I huckled down to the corner store and I bought a bunch of mac and cheese and some roasted peanut nuts, top ramen. They got the Japanese noodles up in that stove, right? So yeah, so it cost $29. But not only yesterday, though, I was walking yesterday, right? You all won't believe what I found yesterday, dog. I might break it out in my wallet. I was walking yesterday. I was hungry. I had nothing to eat. I had to get two 12-inch subs. So I was walking, and I was tired too. My leg wasn't acting right. So I was walking. I went out my building, went to the subway. I saw money on the floor, actual green money, currency money, American dollars on the floor. In the grass, and I see cars rolling by. I know people are looking at it, right? So I looked at it, and it's like a $20 bill, and maybe one or two, maybe a bunch of them, you know, a stack of them or something, folded up, sitting there, right? So I didn't think nothing of it, you know. I go to the subway, I use my card, right? So I got my 2 subs, a spicy Italian sub, and a dark forest ham sub, right? So ratchet sauce. You know, I doctor it all up, lettuce, tomatoes, you know. Olives and such. So I get back to so I walk out the thing. I said to myself, if the $20 bill's still in the grass, I'll pick it up, and that's just that, right? And sure enough, it was still sitting there. So I bent over, like, tying my shoe. This dude was at the gazebo looking at me with the tank top, and, you know, he was smoking a cigarette or something. So I was like, you know, I had a pain in my leg, and I picked up the bill, and I picked up the headphones and put the money in my wallet, you know, back pocket, right? I put it in my back pocket, right? Like I'm scratching myself. And I didn't know what it was. I'm sure it was a $20 bill. So, you know, but I take the steps. So I was walking up the steps with my 2 12-inch subs. That didn't even cost $20, right? And I break out, you know, when you walk up the steps, you take a break. It's a $20 bill. I'm like, yeah, look really. So I went in, washed my hands, you know, put in my wallet, and then I announced that. I thought something else was funny. Yeah, right. So, oh yeah, I thought some jokes too, right? So they have these they have these technology machines, refrigerators for people that need technology enhanced to help them through life and such. Can you imagine, like, walking to the refrigerator, your own refrigerator, right? Dun, dun, dun. All right, open up. Okay, Snickers, where are you? Where's the Snickers? Come on out. And it's not there. You're going to the refrigerator, right? All right, Snickers. And you're like, okay. You're like, refrigerator, what happened to the Snickers I bought? And the refrigerator pipes up and starts talking to you like, well, 4 hours ago you ate the last Snickers. And you're like, 4 hours ago? I was asleep 4 hours ago. And it shows, the refrigerator shows the evidence on the screen, like a panel screen. That is you, getting the Snickers in the middle of the night. That's you. Having an argument with your refrigerator. So you wake up out of bed, boom. All right, open up the fridge. Where are you, Snickers? Snickers. Refrigerator goes, that's the evidence, that's you. Eating the last Snickers. I don't want to hear it. Case dismissed. So you close the refrigerator door, and that's the evidence of you eating the last Snickers that you don't remember. People do that though, you know? Yeah. Anyway, so that's that. So So I'm watching like documentaries and such on the YouTube. Either I'm signed in or not even signed in, the way of looking at it. So I'm letting my keyboards breathe. See my keyboards right there? Yeah, man, I'm letting my keyboards breathe. Get some air up in here on my keyboards. Well, anyway, so I'm watching this documentary about BET rap labels and rap vocals and such, right? How they got up and everything. See, I grew up, I kind of grew up on the Gulf Coast between Panama City and Pensacola in the early 90s and such, So, but my man, I always wanted to go to New Orleans and such. But everybody that I came across goes to New Orleans, and they come back a little bit different though. They come back pretty, I would say, entertained, right? And I always wanted to go to New Orleans and such. But, I got the same radio station in New Orleans, people from New Orleans, 93 BLX. Well, anyway, I'm gonna get the point. There's this documentary on the BET networks, but I'm watching it on the YouTube thing. I'm watching it on the YouTube thing, right? And it's about Master P and how he, the rapper Master P and the No Limit thing, the tank and everything, how they came to be and such. So I'm watching that. But my man was Corey Miller though, man. I liked him. He's good with that microphone, right? But I really want to know how he came in the picture of No Limit Records and such. So I'm watching like from the horse's mouth, from Master P's mouth, how they become. And I watched other videos. Well, he said that Master P's older brother died, and Corey Miller was in the military. Before that, I knew Corey Miller was in the military, but I didn't know what kind of profession in the military he was. So later on in the documentary, he was a medic. A medic with hospital stuff, right? So he quit his, went AWOL and then got discharged and went to a funeral, because someone died in the family. I think Master P's older brother died, or his malpractice of his grandpa died, and it got malpractice lawsuit or something that notion. But anyway, so and they wanted to be a rapper and such, and then people are talking controversy about it's a family situation, and Corey Miller's locked up in prison and such. But after lo and behold, it tells me that Corey Miller had a good heart. He was in the military, and he was a medic. That being said, that means he had a good heart, and he's really good, genius, Da Vinci type, borderline Howard Hughes type genius with the microphone, So that's how I look at it, though, of Corey Miller. That's who I liked back then. But I couldn't get the albums and such. And I also liked the Wu-Tang at that time. And I had to live in Panama City, but I didn't like going to Pensacola though, because they're with the Navy and such, and they got technology and such. Let me tell you a story about my dad. When my dad was alive, at one point he had a one-of-a-kind job for the Air Force. But he wasn't an officer though. Well, in Panama City, the cops beat him down, while he was still in the Air Force with the one-of-a-kind job, getting close to retirement. Anyway, so if the police can do that to my dad that's in the military, in the government, with the one-of-a-kind job, what do they think they're going to do to anybody else? Right? Think about it. Right. That's an officer or no officer, or who play ball or don't play ball with domestic policing, So it makes you wonder though, right? So I lived in Panama City twice in my life. The first time I lived there, lived by the VFW, and I'm a good listener. I used to listen to the people, veterans of foreign wars, inside the bar or whatever establishment, and they don't talk about wars. They just talk about Wheel of Fortune. Back then, watch college football, and Peyton Manning was in college football at the time, and they're talking to me like, "You think you go pro?" I'm like, "Well, he's talented. I grant you that. He's very talented." But we talk about Wheel of Fortune, trying to be sharp with the mentals and such, eating breakfast in the morning, Well, these soldiers that actually were in the military, Right. An Amdex, where you have to use your card to get into this facility with air conditioning and such. Well, I'm going with that because I volunteered for that. The first time I was in Panama City. Second time I was in Panama City, internet was popping off, and one of a kind job is the chief of wartime readiness. Chief of fire protection of wartime readiness for emergencies, stuff like that. You know, best of the best of fire protection and emergencies and all that good such. But he retired. The day he retired, he wanted to smoke marijuana with me. And I smoked every kind of marijuana in Fort Walton Beach, Eglin Air Force Base, you know, and some military bases near Air Force bases in Panama City and such. So he gives me a marijuana joint. His buddy got in boot camp when he first entered the military. He gave me a marijuana joint back in 1997. And then that's the last time I got smoked marijuana with my dad. It was a solo, because I don't pass blunt anymore. My dad gave us marijuana solos, green and everything. And I had friends that were in the first war of Gulf War. So I smoked Saudi cigarettes. And I had a Japanese cigarettes, light tobacco. But this marijuana my dad gives me is a solo. And he had a solo, and I smoked it. That's the highest I've ever got. I smoked all kinds of marijuana from Compton, you know, at that early '93 and such, you know. Hydroponic weed and such, crypto weed and such. But this marijuana plant, it was green. And my dad's been to South America for the Pablos and Escobar era and other eras and such. Anyway, so this is '97. We had this marijuana solo. And that's the last time and the highest I've ever got. And it's with my dad, the day he retired from the Air Force. Right. And then, you know, yeah, so that's that. And he died like April 29th of this year over COVID or the viruses and such. So, yeah. But I have a stepmother that from his side that he married in Ecuador. Her name is Sonia. She doesn't know English, but I have a half-sister. She knows English and American, but it's good. And also on the other side, my mom from Scotland, Glasgow, biological, she died. Her husband, he was an officer in the military Air Force, but he came from Bangor, Maine. Officer from Bangor, Maine. He met my mom in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. He dealt with like he tells the pilots in the air what the up on the ground, usually other military airfields. Well, he came from Bangor, Maine, and he met my mom and everything, and they got married. They went to Guam. I went to Panama City to live with my dad. That's why 96, 97 and such. They came back from Guam, extracted me from Panama City, and I ended up in St. Louis when St. Louis won the Super Bowl and such. And the Sosas and the Mark McGuires are hitting home runs over the fence and such. So, yeah. So, I don't know. That's the one to get off my chest. I have 1840 yet. So, yeah, I want to be military. I don't know. Anyway, so, yeah, so I gotta use the restroom. Yeah. Well, Munkers, Leeds. Oh, United, you're British, you're American? I mean, you're English? I've been to England in 86 and 87 when they had the air show. And SR-71. Oh, how about this? SR-71, the black dildo. The black dildo, I spent a luxury bus. Well, the black dildo is back. Did you miss us? We missed you. A message from the people that work for the black dildo. SR-71. Now it's like the SR something 76 or something, right? So, we're back. It's back. Did you miss us? We missed you. This time we have attitude. This time the dildo has attitude. Yeah, so I thought arthritis, my foot all messed up. You know, that kid He looked like he looked like he had a nice leather coat, and mom looked good. But that kid, you know, he looked like he related to somebody in Nashville. So I don't know, I don't know. But he had what do you call that? Nerve or cannolis or you know, kahunas. Yeah, kahunas, right? So I mean, he wasn't really close to me and such. But he didn't have a mask though. I had a mask, right? So I'm, you know, across the road. I had to bank up my burritos and what you have, Doritos. You know, you know. So I'm gonna go. So yeah. Oh, I played cards. All right. I played cards. I did myself a deck of cards. Well, that's what I got. 3 2s and 2 kings. That's the blue deck, right? Nate always wins, right? Yeah, 3 2s. See the 3 2s and it yeah, right there. See that? Yeah, 3 2s. And the other deck, the other set was the red deck, and they got like this. Is what it got? They got an ace, 3 8s, and a 3 spade. And I always deal out the red deck first. See that? Yeah, I always deal out the red deck first. It's the red deck right here. So I'm thinking, okay, so I got 3 8s and an ace. Thinking like all confident that knowing I deal out these hands periodically, like once a week or so. So, you know, and I know based on experience, the blue deck always wins, right? The blue deck always wins, right? About 80% of the time, the blue deck always wins. I'm like, the blue deck ain't gonna beat the 3 8s and an ace and a 3, right? But sure enough, I got 3 2s in a row, dished out the 8 9, and got 2 kings. I'm like, it was all on the fly though. I'm like cheating and such. And every time I get on here, I gotta use the restroom and such. So, yeah. Yeah, that's the X7 over there. The keyboard is the X7. I took my money out of the stock market and bought an X7. There it is. So when it goes into Sam Ash, get an X7. See the X7 right there? That's what the professionals use. And it was like $2,400. And now it's not working much because it's like, and the other keyboard is that FA06. It's rolling, right? So that's good, you know. But that FA06. That FA06 over there, the black one, versus the gray one. Well, the black one, the FA06, has twice as much sounds as the X7. But yeah, that black keyboard has twice as much sounds as the gray keyboard, but it's half the prices of the gray keyboard. The gray keyboard is older. So what's now? If you get caught cheating people, you'll take beating the same? I don't know. No, I think it's more of a integrity or something, a moral, ethical. To me, it's ethical. I don't like to cheat that much. I grew up cheating and such. What you're playing, blackjack? No, it's poker. Like I think it's like five card stud or something. So yeah. Yeah. I'm 44 though, so I gotta go use the restroom soon. Yeah, I found 20 bucks on the ground. Can't believe it. I'm gonna go. So y'all take care of people. Alright. 25 should be sufficient. My chopper right there. Chopper. You know, like that. Alright. Peace out.